Whatever works for you.
5 Bravo, take 4.
Yep.
Marker.
Rolling? Okay.
Yeah, stand by.
Okay, here we go. And action.
Episode 125 of MCRAE Live. The date today is... what the hell is it anyway? I've been gone for so long. It's Tuesday, December the 8th, 2020, 11:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. It's 11:11. Make a wish, ladies and gentlemen. Make a wish. What do you want? You want a Christmas present? You want something from... Hey, welcome. I'm back, everybody. It's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks, actually. For those of you that have been lying under a rock, it's been a couple of weeks since I have done a show, and I think we should sound. Let me hear. Yeah, we sound okay. We sound good. Good. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with a technical glitch because this is the first time I've done this in a couple of weeks. It's kind of funny because it's muscle memory but you know I'm like I got the buttons in the face. I'm like I think I'm good. I think I'm on. Everybody can hear me. That's good. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen, and what an amazing last couple of weeks it has been. I am hang on one second. I'm facilitating okay, let's work on that. Yes, so yeah, things are good. Things are moving along, and I shot a movie, actually. In case you guys didn't know, that's where I was for the last couple of weeks. I was last week we were moving It's Me, Billy into post-production, and the week before that, of course, we were shooting the movie, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. There's been a week that we've had to sort of, decompress and move the movie into post-production. And I wanted to talk to you guys. I wanted to bring you guys up to speed. I mean, I know many of you do follow me on social media and have been following me and have, been watching the posts, but not everybody does. I mean, some people don't have Facebook. Some people don't have Twitter. They only have Instagram. Some people don't have Instagram. They only have Facebook. Some people don't have any of the above because, they don't want that shit. You know what I mean? And I understand that. So I wanted to take this first show back to, first of all, to bring everybody up to speed, to talk about the experience, to talk about what it was like. And to once again say thank you to each and every one of you for making this a reality, for making this possible. I know that Bruce wanted me to let you guys know that he thanks you from the bottom of his heart as well. We both do. We both are extraordinarily thankful that you guys stepped up to the table and made this happen. We were the ones making it, but it wouldn't have been made without you. And that's not ass kissing. That's a fact. that's just a fact. That's just the fact of the matter is that without the donations, the generous donations to the Indiegogo campaign, this past summer, the movie would not have happened. So again, we thank you so much for helping to make this a reality. And what an amazing week. I mean, it was really, really cool to step into this role as a producer and as a director for the first time in my life on this level. And one of the greatest compliments that myself and Bruce got while we were on set, because we were working with a crew that was far more experienced with working on set than we were in this capacity. And one of the nice compliments that we got from everybody was that it was well organized. It didn't feel like it was our first time handling this kind of a set. I know that our sound guy, said that he's worked on many, many sets, and he said that you would never know that this was your first time doing this at this level. And I said, thanks so much. I really appreciate that. And he said, no, it's organized. It's on point things, it was fun. It was the kind of set where we worked hard, but we had fun, and we were allowed to have fun because we worked hard. If we didn't work hard, there wouldn't be those opportunities where you could, goof off for 5 minutes, because you would be playing catch up the whole time, and you wouldn't have time to, have fun or crack a joke or, enjoy the process, enjoy the moment. You wouldn't have that time because you'd be spending the whole time catching up. And we didn't have that. And there were a couple of moments where we fell behind in the schedule, but nothing major. And we made it up immediately after that. There was the second day. First day went off without a hitch, which was incredible, because when you're working with people you've never worked with before, the crew is trying to find its groove, right? We're all trying to find our groove, trying to find our rhythm. There's different personalities, there's different egos, we're all trying to find a rhythm and a groove. And that first day, anybody, whether you're shooting a, major Hollywood blockbuster or a professional independent shoot like ours, anybody will tell you that the first day is so important, because you're discovering each other, and you're discovering each other's rhythms, and how we gonna, flow here, and it can go south really quick. The first day was fantastic. And I think that's primarily, again, because we were so prepared. Bruce and I had been working on this for 18 months prior to going to camera, but also because we made the first day a relatively light day. So we shot in the morning, we shot a little bit in the afternoon, and that was pretty much it. And I think that was a smart thing to do. Everybody had a good time. We were on point, on schedule, didn't fall behind. And everybody had a good time, and it's great morale for the crew, right? That first day is in the can, they can go back to the hotel and be like, okay, that was good. I mean, the last thing you want is on day one for people to be like, holy shit, that was a shit show. Like, fuck, we got, 6 more days of this shit. You know what I mean? It was just, it wasn't that there weren't moments that were a little stressful. There were, problem solving, but in the big picture, it was really smooth, all things considered. And I think, again, I don't want to speak on behalf of everybody, but the general consensus from what I was hearing from many of the crew was it was good. It was a good, it was a good shoot, and they've worked on set much longer than I have and they say, they've said, I mean, these things don't always go this well, and so we're very happy about that. But I think it's not just the people we were working with, which were terrific people, and when things go well and you treat people with dignity and respect, to the best of your abilities under the circumstances, right? Because it's an indie shoot. I mean, we're not serving, caviar and but the catering was good. The food was good. We were on point. We were on schedule. And I think when you're organized and you handle yourself in a professional way, I think, people respond to that, and they see how hard you're working, and they want to work hard for you because they're treated well. And I think if you treat your crew well and you treat them with respect and you check in on them and you talk to them and it's a team effort, and it's one thing that I said to them. I forget what day it was. I don't know if it was the second to last day, but I said, we couldn't do this without you. I mean, yes, Bruce and I get the final say because we're directing the movie, but it was a collaborative effort. And there were many ideas that came from our first AC, from our sound guy, you know, things that they were seeing, from our key grip. You know, there were ideas that popped up, and there were many times where we were like, you know what, that's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah, you know what, I think we should do that. You know, and then sometimes we were like, I don't really know, I think we should stick with this. But it was a collaborative effort, and it was an experience. It was a week that I'll never forget. It's a week that I wanna do all over again, because the crew was just amazing, and the cast. I mean, you know, the cast was amazing. You know, I mean, these three ladies are terrific. I can't wait for you to see them in their roles, and they were prepared. I mean, this is the difference between, you know, working with your friends, which is always fun to work with, of course, if you can't afford it, right? And working with professionals. And they were prepared, they were on point, they knew their lines, their performances were tremendous. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the things you'll notice, you know, again, is when you eventually watch It's Me, Billy. I think one of the standouts will be wow, because again, it's a fan film, right? It's in that category, that subgenre fan film. But like I've said to many people who've questioned this, is that that's just the subgenre. If we were making an original movie, we would have hired the same crew, rented the same equipment. You know, we're shooting on professional stuff. So it's just fan film. That's just the subgenre. You know what I mean? It's going to be a professional film. So, and the performances are fantastic. You know, it's not fan film acting. You know, it's legit. So they were tremendous and so fun. And because it was cool, because myself and Bruce and our DP and the three ladies, we all stayed at the house, and then the rest of the crew stayed at a hotel about 10 minutes down the road. And it was designed that way because we wanted the opportunity, myself and Bruce and Greg, who are the creative leads in terms of the, you know, you have the two directors and the DP. We wanted to have opportunities where when the shoot was done, or when, you know, we were wrapping up for the day and people were going back, there was an opportunity for myself and Bruce and Greg and the three ladies to talk if we needed to talk about the next day, to talk about the scenes, to talk about our ideas and things like that. So that's why we housed us sort of in one location, and it was just so much fun, you know. And it's so nice to be, I consider these three young ladies friends. You know, it was that kind of a shoot. They're so nice and so kind and so professional, and knew their lines like that. And it was just, I mean, it was a pleasure to work at this level, working like this, to see it unfold. You know, we did several takes on many of the scenes, but it wasn't because of any flub ups or because the actors weren't nailing it. It was primarily because we had 2 or 3 in the can. I mean, that's how good these ladies were. So if you're watching, ladies, again, tremendous work. You guys are amazing, sincerely. Yeah, and I mean, to work with this equipment and to watch, there were many moments where I was watching the process and watching everybody work and do their thing. And it was cool. There was this one moment when I won't tell you the scene, but we were shooting a scene, and you know, it was my first moment, because I think myself and Bruce, we took turns taking the lead on certain scenes, right? So I'd call a certain scene, Bruce would call a certain scene. Sometimes we'd call a scene together. We were kind of, you know, handling it together, right? Well, this was a particular scene that I took the lead on, and it was fine. And then I forget what it was now. It was something happened where the scene played out. I said cut. It was a great scene, great performance. And I remember, I forget if Greg said he wanted. I forget if he said, should we do another one? So I think it was Greg that said, should we do another one because of this? And it wasn't that big of a deal, but maybe it's something we should do, you know, it was that kind of thing. And everybody sort of just looked to me, you know, like all these eyes kind of, you know, looked to me like, what do you think? you know? And it was kind of funny because I suddenly felt like this pressure, but this good pressure, like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm the co-director on the movie and I'm directing this take, you know? And I remember thinking, yeah, it just suddenly was like, oh yeah, I have to make a decision here, you know? So I said yes. I said, yes, yeah. Let's shoot it again. But it wasn't because the take wasn't good. It was just it was some minor thing. It was something like, well, maybe you should also get that too, or something. I forget what it was, but it was cool. It was a cool moment. And I shared that with Greg and Bruce at the end of the night. Cause, well, at the end of the night was sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning. But sometimes after the crew had wrapped and went home, we would sit in the living room and just kind of chill and talk about the day and things like that. Even though we were dead tired, we would usually take about half an hour and just kind of, you know, talk about that, kind of a debrief. And I mean, it was just an amazing experience. It felt like, it just felt good. It felt, do you know when you're doing something that you love, you're doing something that you absolutely, you know, feel that you belong. It's the kind of thing, and I know that, and it doesn't have to be filmmaking for anybody. It can be anything in your life. But have you ever done something in your life where this is what you're, you know what I mean? This is where you belong. You enjoy the environment, you know, you enjoy the people, you love the process, you know, and that's how it felt. And, you know, there was a little sadness, and I know everybody felt that. There was a little kind of sadness at the end of the week that it was over, you know, and we were all going our separate ways until the movie comes. I mean, obviously we're all in touch with each other because we all follow each other on social media and all, have all each other's phone numbers and all that kind of stuff. But it was the kind of thing where, you know, it was kind of sad because you spend a week together and you become like a little family. And I can only imagine, like I was thinking, you know, if that kind of thing happened, you know, in the week that we were together, you can certainly see on a micro level, you can certainly see how, you know, people really do develop, you know, strong rapports and friendships and really good, you know, working relationships when you work on a movie for 3 months, you know. And I can totally understand now, not that I didn't before, but having this experience, I can intellectualize it even more. I understand, because just working with these ladies, because I said that to Bruce, I said, I want to work with these ladies again. I mean, they're so talented, you know, that, and I understand now why certain directors like working with the same people, you know, because, I mean, you don't want to do that all the time. I mean, you want to branch out and work with other actors as well, of course, but you can certainly understand why a certain director like a Scorsese always works with DiCaprio, you know, or often, you know what I mean? Or De Niro or whatever. And when you find people that are talented, that you mesh with, that you work well with, I get it, you know, and these three, I mean, I don't have, you know, Scorsese's experience, obviously. It's not like I've worked with a ton of people, but certainly working with Malika and Shelby and Victoria, I'm like, I'm dying to work with them again. Like, I mean, they're amazing. You know what I mean? Amazing personalities. They work hard. They're amazing, you know? So it's like, yeah, like you want to work with them again, you know? So that was cool. And we became like this little family throughout the week. And it was a really, really cool experience. I have some photos that I do want to show you. You've probably seen, if you follow me on social media, you've probably seen these already. But again, I haven't done a show where I've talked about this and shown it sort of officially. So I wanted to show some of these officially. So I'm going to move over to the, let me move over here. Oh, there I am. I'm down in the little part of the screen. Let me just make sure that I am also not, my audio is okay on this side. I like to do that. 1 second here, guys. There's a bit of a delay. There we go. Let me just check here. No, I sound good. Okay. So let me bring up, what one should I bring up first? Let's bring up this one. I don't know. This is in no particular order. So I'm just going to bring some up and we're going to see. Here we are. Okay. So this is myself and Greg Bennett, our DP. This is day one of shooting It's Me, Billy. And Greg and I are going over a shot, discussing a shot. I don't know what exactly we're discussing, but we are discussing something, clearly. Probably the framing of the shot is probably what we're discussing. That would be my guess. And I think Bruce took this photo. So pretty cool. Let me see. And then we'll go this one here. Here's some of our crew. So yeah. And again, if you follow me on social media, you've probably seen these photos. But like I said, I wanted to show them here in sort of an official capacity on YouTube. This is from left to right. So the guy in the yellow gloves there, that is Nas. He is our key grip. And the guy beside him is Luke. And then Stuart, and then our gaffer Nikita on the far right there, and they're setting up the Meerkat jib for a jib shot. And again, this is the first day of shooting, and yeah, I mean, such a talented crew, amazing to work with, and on point, you know. And these guys, like, I mean, I can't stress how amazing it was to watch these guys. Like, sincerely, these guys were setting up the lights. They were handling all the technical stuff, you know, and doing it for us. I mean, setting up everything for us to create our vision. And you know, we're not talking just like, you know, a light or two. We're talking full-fledged, you know, like, I mean, you know, we're talking a full professional independent short, and the lighting setup was impressive. We had lights not out here on the first day of shooting, of course, because we were using a lot of the natural light, although we did have lights set up out there, and we used a Movie Quiet, which is a generator to for the power. But when we got back to the house and stuff, I mean, the lighting setup that they were doing and the shit they were pulling off, I'm like, fuck, man, these guys are good. Like, they know their stuff. Like, and I learned a lot just by watching them work. Like, that's what was so cool about it. You know what I mean? That's what was so cool about it. And then I take that one out. Let's see here. And yeah, this is part of more of day one. The woman on the far left over there, you can kind of see her behind the camera. That is Emma. She's our production assistant. Emma is amazing. Emma, if you're watching, she's probably not watching. I don't even know if she knows I have a show. But she is amazing. Emma stepped into the role last minute. Our original PA had to back out about 2 days before we went to camera. You know, shit happens, right? So we were scrounging to find a PA, and I reached out to Emma, and I said, listen, I know this is last minute. You know, we're shooting this short. It's up in Almont, Ontario, you know, which is 4.5 hours from here. We go to camera in like 24 hours. You know, it's can you do this? You know, and she was like, oh my God. And I talked to her on the phone for about half an hour, brought her up to speed. She needed about 10 minutes to think about it. And I can understand, because it was like, oh my God, like, this is sprung on me last minute. I don't really know what to do. But she was totally in, and she was amazing. On point, always there, running the errands that needed to be run. You know, there were many times where we would be on set, and I would turn and I would take out my walkie-talkie to, you know, radio to Emma because we needed something, and she was already there. And she was already there with that something that we needed. It was like, Jesus Christ, this girl is on point, man. I would not hesitate, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend anybody from the set, but Emma was just amazing. She was, and you know, handling the catering and she shot some behind the scenes stuff too, which was really cool. So Emma, if you're watching, again, thank you. You were, you know, no crew is complete without, you know, it depends on the size of the shoot, of course, too. We only needed one PA for our shoot. So, but no crew is complete without an amazing set of PAs, or in our case, one PA, and that would be Emma, and she was awesome, sincerely. Let me see here. And then we have, oh, here we go. This is your first screen grab. For those of you that have yet to see this, this is the first screenshot, the first screen grab from It's Me, Billy. I did post this, I guess last week. We had moved all of the footage into the editing what am I trying to say here? We moved all the footage into the into post-production and into the editing suite, as I have here, and we took a still grab from this. This has been color treated a little bit. What's great about working with Greg and Nikita, who's our gaffer, is that one of the great things about, and this is the first time I've ever had this experience, working, shooting on the ARRI Mini and shooting with master prime lenses, which is the top in the world, and shooting with Greg, who's an experienced DP of over 25 years. And Greg and Nikita have worked together a lot as well. What's so cool is that what you want to do is and this is something that we all know this, of course, but to see them work at this level was amazing. You always want to capture the best you can, the look of what you're going for in camera. So, because you want to do as little color grading or color correction as possible. You're always going to have to do some. Like, we shot in log format. And the reason why we shot in log format is because we wanted to have the most dynamic range. So the actual raw footage is sort of flat, but it's flat on purpose because that gives us the most, range to be able to tweak here and there wherever we need to see fit. But a lot of, amateurs and people that don't really know what they're doing will tend to shoot footage and then just put a filter on it, you know what I mean? And one that's like a default filter. And filters are fun. Sure, they can be fun and make things look cool, but that's not what you want to do when you're making a professional film. So you want to capture as much of the visual look and the aesthetic as you can in camera, and that comes down to your DP and your gaffer and how they're working the lights and setting all that up and the exposure and this and the color temperatures and all this kind of stuff. And then what you do is you take that footage into post-production and you tweak it and you fine-tune it just to accent it, just to complement it just a little bit. The raw footage we have looks spectacular, but I mean, we're shooting on the ARRI, that helps. I mean, that certainly helps. But I've never worked with this kind of footage before. I've never shot on a cinematic camera before. So it was just, I giggle when I edit because I'm like, this looks so amazing. You know what I mean? It's really cool. It's a very cool experience. And the more I shoot, obviously that'll wear off and I won't be a kid in a candy store, forever. But it definitely was really, really cool. And this is your first screen grab. So this has been treated, but not a lot. I mean, this is pretty much what they captured in camera. We just needed to accent it a little bit, because it's a log file. So obviously it was flat. So we needed to sort of, darken the darken the midtones a bit and the blacks and, things like that. But I mean, it's amazing. This is such an amazing shot. I mean, Greg has just outdone himself and it's just so, it's so awesome. I can't wait for you to see, this is what the whole movie looks like this, you know what I mean? And it's just, this is it. I mean, I'm so excited for you guys to see this. And to have the performances that the ladies give us just makes it that much better. So yeah, so this is your first screen grab. And believe me, there were a lot of screen grabs that I wanted to show you, but we settled on this one because we felt that it was fairly innocuous and didn't really give anything away. It's a perfect promotional shot, that kind of thing. So yeah, very, very cool indeed. I love that image. It's so awesome. Let me see here. Here, speaking of Greg, our DP, Greg Bennett, two-time CSC nominee. And this is him doing his thing outside. He was setting up a shot. I assume at the car again. This is day one, so he was setting something up, and we were talking about. You can't see it because it's cut off here on the bottom, but the camera's on a Dana dolly, which is just a set of rails essentially, so you can slide the camera back and forth like this and get a nice sort of tracking shot from left to right. That's what the camera's sitting on. You can't see it because it's cut off, but I assume he was setting up again the framing for the car on day one, and Greg is just again. I don't know if he's watching or if he ever does, but Greg, you are amazing, and to work with somebody with his experience, I learned a lot from Greg, and he was so cool, like being, for all intents and purposes, first-time directors at this level. He was cool. He was chill. He had ideas, but he respected our ideas and our vision as well. And I think what made this, I think Greg had such a good time working on this, even with somebody with his experience. I think But part of that reason, again, and it is, I'm going to pat myself and Bruce on the back here. We were prepared. We were prepared. We knew what we wanted. We knew exactly what we wanted. You know, we were prepared. So there was no standing around figuring things out. I mean, there was a couple of moments where we had to figure out a bit of the blocking, right? Because it was our first time in the environment. So we had to figure out a bit of the blocking, like where people are going to stand, and okay, you're going to walk over here and the camera's, you know, a bit of that stuff, right? But that's par for the course. There was never any moments where Bruce and I, you know, we didn't agree and we had to go and fight for 5 minutes and waste time. And, you know, we were prepared. And I think it was a pleasure for Greg, even though we were first time directors, you know, essentially, right, for all intents and purposes. He had a great time. And I would like to think that he would work with us again, because I know I'd work with him again. So, because he's pretty fucking awesome. So, Greg, you're amazing. Let's see here. Hey, here's me. I posted this to social media just the other day. That's the Dana Dolly there. So you can see it in this shot. That's the camera that's on the set of rails. This was, I don't think this was the same day as the previous shot of Greg. This was a different shot. But this was, this is a candid shot, actually. I know it looks like it's staged, but it's actually not. Greg we were setting up a shot of the house, I believe. And he's using, you can't see it there, but he's got a 12 mil lens on, which is very wide lens. And so he had come over I had walked over to see the shot, and he said, you know, what do you think of this? And then he walked away because I think he was talking to Nikita or somebody. And I just happened to look through, and I had no idea that somebody was taking a photo at that moment. And I didn't know until a couple of days ago when I realized that I didn't have Nas, who's our key grip, on Instagram. And I'm like, oh, he's following me, but I'm not following him. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? So I started following him. And when I did, I got this notification from like a week earlier that he posted this photo. And I'm like, I didn't even know he was taking a photo at the time. Didn't even know. So I think it's a really cool photo, because it's like, that's kind of like, it's a classic like director photo. You know what I mean? So I loved it. I was like, oh, this is really cool. I gotta snag this, you know? So, but no, did I say it's not candid? I meant it's candid. If I said it's not candid, I meant it actually is candid. It's like in the moment, 100% organic. I had no idea that they were taking, or that he was taking a photo, but pretty cool. And yeah, like I said in my social media post, those are orange track pants. Yes, they are baggy orange track pants. You should see me behind the set. They're so big on me. I look like I'm like 500 pounds. It's hilarious. Anyway, but it was warm and I could move around, which was great. I think they were a little warmer than jeans. This is a great shot. I've posted all these shots to social. This is Victoria, obviously, in the car. This is day one. You can see Shelby in the back there, and Greg here looking through the viewfinder. We're setting up a shot on day one of It's Me, Billy. And it snowed. Yeah, I haven't even talked about the snow yet. It did snow, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, there's snow on the car, and that is like organic. That's because it snowed overnight. We didn't know if we were going to get snow. And people had been asking me, do you think the movie's going to work if you don't get snow? And I'm like, well, yeah, I think it, I mean, look, it's always better if we have snow, right? I mean, that's always better because it's a Christmas movie, you know? But if there is no snow, it's not the end of the world, because it's not unprecedented. If you live in the Northeast of the United States or the Midwest, you know, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Chicago, Illinois. Like, I mean, if you live in a part of the US where you get the 4 seasons, right? And here in Canada, that's what we are. We're a 4-seasoned country. It's not unprecedented to have a green Christmas. Now, it's not green like tropical weather, but green in the sense that there's no snow, right? But it's dead. Like, it's gloomy, it's cloudy, there's no leaves on the trees, you know, the grass is kind of brown, but there's just no snow. And that's not unprecedented. It happens more often than not, right? Especially over the last many years. So I think it could work, totally work. And so I wasn't so hung up on that. But the day we left, November 22nd, I rented a Suburban. I was trying to rent a minivan, but they didn't have any left. So they gave me this luxury Suburban. I'm like, oh, well, fuck. All right, I'll take that. And I drove the 3 ladies up. And so we carpooled, and the snowstorm that hit the Toronto area and parts of the US on November the 22nd or the 21st, like that weekend there, that hit us in Toronto the morning we were leaving, and we were traveling east, and the storm was behind us. So by the time 7:00 p.m. hit, we were settled into the location, we were starting to set some things up, and it began to snow. And we're thinking, this is wild. Like, what are the odds of this? Are you kidding me? And it didn't just snow. It snowed. Like, there's like, I don't know. It was like 15 centimeters, whatever the hell that is in inches. Hey, Google, what is 15 centimeters in inches?
15 centimeters is 5.906 inches.
Okay, so there you go. So 6 inches of snow fell that first night. And when we woke up in the morning, we're like, holy shit, this is day one. Our first shot, our first scene we're shooting on day one is outside. This is the car scene on the side of the road, and there's snow. Are you kidding me? This is amazing. It was serendipitous. It was unbelievable. So certainly we were prepared to roll without it, because, you know, I mean, it's not like we have any control over it unless we had, you know, millions of dollars and we could rent tons of snow machines and shit and cover like the whole area. But it snowed. And really damn cool indeed. So yeah, this is part of day one there, and Greg is preparing for a shot, which is pretty damn cool. A couple more here. So this is our second AC, our second assistant camera here, Dylan Lobo. This is our sound recordist and boom operator, Adrian Ancona. And then, of course, we have Greg behind the camera and Victoria waiting for her cue. And these guys were amazing. I mean, obviously you need a good sound guy to capture all the sound, all the dialogue. And Adrian, again, I don't know if any of these people are watching, but if you are, dude, amazing. Like, you were awesome. I've been listening to the sound already. It's fantastic. When I get it into, you know, Adobe Audition, I start to, you know, fine tune it and stuff. It's great, you know, but you have to have a great bass, you know, and Adrian captured that great bass. And I mean, bass isn't not bass is in like, you know, I mean, bass is in like your bass line, I should say, your bass line. You have to have a great bass line, and he captured that. Amazing. And Dylan was just awesome. Dylan working with Jacqueline, of course, who was our first AC, our first assistant camera, working with Greg, and he was just awesome. Awesome team. Hey, the cast photo. There we all are. The casting crew of It's Me, Billy. This was taken, of course, in the bottom of the steps of the house there. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. We almost didn't get this shot. It was like, this is, I think, our second last day. We almost didn't get this, and we finally did. There's a little sign here in the background. You can't read it because it's too small, unfortunately. We should have had it turned a bit more. Anyways, it says Adam Gamble. Adam Gamble was our drone operator. So, and obviously he was not there for this, so we decided to write his name on a piece of paper and stick it on the pillar there. So, Adam, if you're watching, we didn't forget you, Adam. We did not forget you. You are there, in spirit, at the very least. Okay, let's see here. There they are. There's part of the camera team. Dylan Lobo, of course, on the left, and Jacqueline DeBacco. I think that's how you say her name. DeBacco or DeBacco, I think it's DeBacco, on the right there. And this is Jacqueline's main job, of course, was to pull focus. So when we are shooting, of course, we had 3 monitors. So there's the onboard monitor, which you see on the camera here at the top. Jacqueline also has her own monitor, and Jacqueline will sit off camera somewhere else and pull focus. So her job, her primary job, I mean, she's got a lot of jobs, but her primary job is to pull focus and to make sure that as the camera is moving or that the camera is tracking, that the subject and the images are always in focus and the proper focus that we need them to be, the proper depth of field. And she did an amazing job of that. She's highly experienced and a ball to work with, and has a laugh that you hear a mile away that you cannot help but laugh. Her laugh is infectious, and she's a gigantic Black Christmas fan. She is a gigantic original Black Christmas fan, which just happened to be that way. We didn't hire her because of that. We hired her obviously because of her skills. But she said on her own, I'm a huge original Black Christmas fan, just so you know. And we're like, oh my God, that's even better. So there were many times throughout the process when we would do a take and I would turn to Jacqueline and I would say, so what'd you think of that? Because we wanted to, she's a big man. And she was like, oh no, it was good. That was good. I like that. So, and she was great with suggestions as well. She had a couple of suggestions that made scenes stronger, that made moments stronger, which was really great, and because these people see things that sometimes you as a director don't see. Myself and Bruce are locked in on a certain wavelength, and we're supposed to be. And sometimes because we're locked in on a certain wavelength, there are tiny nuances that we might miss or things that we don't see. And that's when, if you treat your crew right, if you treat them with respect and dignity and you make them feel, important, which they are, obviously, but there are some directors and filmmakers I can imagine that don't make their crews feel that way. And again, it depends on the size of the crew. I understand if it's a Marvel film, and you might not even get to meet the director half the time, right? But if you're working on an indie shoot, and there's no reason why you can't make everybody feel welcome and important, because they are, because you can't do this fucking shit without them, and a part of the team, because they're going to want to work for you. And, they're not going to say, that's the difference between, hey, I see something in that shot. I wonder if Bruce and Dave noticed this. I should say something. To, hey, I see something in that shot, but Bruce and Dave are fucking idiots, so I don't give a fuck. That's the difference, right? That's the difference there. Do you know what I mean? And if you treat your crew and your cast and everybody with respect and you care about them, and that's the difference. They want to work for you because they want this to be the best thing it can possibly be as well, because it's their job and they're working on it. Anyway, they were amazing. I can't say enough about, these two. And that lens there that you see that Dylan is attaching to the Airy, that is a zoom lens. That lens weighs 24 pounds. The lens alone weighs 24 pounds. Pretty crazy, if I do say so myself. Almost done here. I think this might be the last image. What is this? Dun, 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 dun. Ah, there they are. The ladies, the lovely ladies. Billy's ladies, or Billy's babes, or I don't know what you... I don't know what you call them. What are they? Charlie's Angels? Billy's Angels, maybe? Billy's Angels? I don't know what you call them. But anyway, this is Victoria, obviously, Maleka, and Shelby. And again, talented, incredibly talented, and amazing to work with. And I can't say enough about them. Professional, polite, kind, just everything you want in a working relationship with an actor. You know what I mean? And again, I haven't worked with a lot of on-camera actors. Most of my professional career has been in the voiceover industry. I did start as an on-camera actor. I did some commercials. I did a couple of docu-dramas. So I do have on-camera acting experience, obviously. But most of my life veered towards the voiceover, which is acting. It's still acting. It's just acting behind a microphone. But it's not like I've worked with a lot of actors, a lot of professional actors in this capacity. But I think they've spoiled me and I think I know, knowing actors like I do, I know that not everybody is this kind and this professional and this amazing. So I think they've spoiled, if I go work with somebody else and be like, yeah, you're not like them though, they didn't care. It could be that kind of thing, you know what I mean? And they said the same thing about us, actually. They said, yeah, no, this set's been amazing. You kind of have spoiled us in a way for future sets. So, but amazing. I adore these three. They just so talented and professional. There was no moments where you're like, oh, I don't know. None of that. There was none of it. It was just boom, boom, boom on point. It was amazing. We were spoiled. Let's just put it that way. But exactly how you want it to go when you're making a movie. So I can't complain too much. Pretty cool indeed. And I think that's all I mean, there are a lot of other photos as well that I haven't shown, and certainly that I did post to social media. But that is, that is in a nutshell. I mean, that's sort of a taste anyway, a taste of what's been going on. The movie is currently right now in post-production. There is a teaser trailer. For those of you that don't know, there is a teaser trailer, just a tease now, a teaser trailer dropping on Christmas Eve. That is the plan. Christmas Eve, you will see the teaser trailer for It's Me, Billy. But wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. We are planning very soon to also drop what we are calling a micro teaser. So it's like a teaser for the teaser. Yeah, that's right. Hollywood does it all the time, and we're going to do it too, because you know you love it. It would be the equivalent of like a 30-second TV spot. You know, it's that kind of thing, right? So we are planning on dropping that. We'll see. Maybe this week. Very soon. We shall see. We are planning on doing that as well. So it's like the tease for the teaser. We may even have a tease for the teaser. No, we're not going to have that. No, but it will definitely be, there is a micro teaser that is planning to drop. Adrian says, when? Don't know when. We're hoping maybe this week. And again, we're calling it a micro tease. So it's you guys know me. I mean, I'm the king of mood and atmosphere and slow burn. So it's not like you're going to get, and I think people could appreciate that. I think you'll watch it. You'll watch the micro teaser. You'll watch the teaser on December the 24th, and you'll be like, okay, I could appreciate what they're doing here. There will certainly, there's more to the actual teaser than there is the micro teaser. But the micro teaser was something that we wanted to do. Just a little bit of sugar we wanted to sprinkle for you guys to get you guys excited. So that could be this week. But the teaser is December 24th, and that is when that's happening. Excited, to say the least. This is, of course, for those of you that may not know what the hell this is an unofficial direct sequel to the original Black Christmas, set between 45 and 50 years later, and it follows the granddaughter of Jess Bradford. Now, we do remember that Jess Bradford, at the end of Black Christmas and all throughout Black Christmas, was pregnant. She was pregnant with, she was pregnant. So that baby obviously had a baby. And that, of course, would be the granddaughter. And where is it? One last time here. Is it here? Is it this one? Oh, wait a minute. I got to turn. Hang on a second. Oh, no, I got to go back to here. Hang on. Is it this one? No. Wait a minute. There it is. It's that one. So this is, that's Victoria Miro, who plays Sam, the granddaughter of Jess Bradford, the granddaughter of Olivia Hussey, if you want to think of it that way. So cool indeed. Yeah, that's what the basic premise is. There is a synopsis on IMDb. You can just type in "It's Me, Billy," and you'll see what the synopsis is. So yes, let's see how you guys are doing. And if you have any questions whatsoever, this is your opportunity to ask me questions. I do want to get the ladies on here on the show in the near future. I think it would be great to also get all three of them on together. During the It's Me Billy-a-thons, we had the three of them on, but they were spaced out over time. And that was on purpose, obviously. But I would love to get all three of them on together. And maybe we'll do that. Maybe there's many different ways we could do it. Maybe we'll do it. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they all have to, the holidays are coming up, right? So obviously everybody's schedules are kind of going to be all over the place. Don't know if we'll be able to do it for the holidays, but certainly I do want to get the three of them on together, because I think that'll be, a lot of fun. What's really cool about them as well is, and this, and again, it's just the luck of the draw, is their characters are friends on screen. Because we cast them so early in the development process, Victoria and Shelby and Malika became genuine friends, real friends off screen. So that chemistry, like they didn't know each other before we cast them, but they on their own would talk away from the production. And so when they're together, when you see them together off camera and they're talking, and I mean, I drove 4 hours up there with them, 4 hours back, and to hear them talking in the back seat and the conversations, you'd think they'd known each other for years. And that and again, it's a short film, so it's not like we have all this time for character development, but that natural chemistry that I see between them just in real life, because they've become friends in real life, translates onto the screen. You believe it. You know what I mean? You can feel the chemistry between them. And that was really cool. I just wanted to mention that too. I thought that was really, really, really cool. Okay. I know some super chats came in. Let's see what they were. Todd Fair says, Dave, congrats on you guys finishing It's Me, Billy. Thank you so much, Todd. And thank you, Todd, for being an associate producer on the film and your generous contribution as well. Really, really appreciate it. CM says, congrats and welcome back, Dave. Listening with my wife in the delivery room while the early stages of giving birth to our daughter. Long day. Well, congratulations, CM. And I hope that the baby is born healthy and happy, and you guys have a yeah. I just think that's really cool that's happening. Yeah. Congratulations. Good Real Hunting. Good Real Hunting says, we, Brett Mann and Brad, are so excited for It's Me, Billy. Glad filming went great. Thank you so much, Good Real. Appreciate the super chat as well. And it did. It went very well. I mean, again, I haven't been on many productions in this capacity. I know things can go south. I mean, I've been in voiceover sessions where they've gone south. So, you know, anytime you're grouping people together in a creative, environment where you have to create something, it can go south for a variety of reasons. But I am happy to report that It's Me, Billy went very smoothly. Bud Gumperson sends in a $10.10 super chat and says, Dave, I have a nail-biting question to ask. Is there a memorial for the long-lost goose in the film? All kidding aside, I'm glad the filming went well and can't wait to see the final product. That is funny. For those of you that don't know what Bud Gumperson is talking about, Victoria, who plays Sam, she told a story on our second It's Me Billy-a-thon, I believe, where she ran over it sounds so Canadian, like so stereotypically Canadian. This doesn't usually happen, folks. It just happened. She just happened to have this very stereotypically Canadian story. She was heading to a job, I believe, an acting job, and it was in the winter, and I think she was going to be late or something, so she was moving a little fast. Anyway, she apparently ran over a goose on the highway. It's so Canadian. It doesn't happen. It's like running over a polar bear. It just sounds so sounds so cheesy and cliche. But apparently she did. And so we poked and teased her about that on the It's Me Billy-a-thon. So we had contemplated buying a goose for the shoot, but we didn't do that. But we did mention it though. We did mention it when we were on set. Let's see. Aaron Click says, Dave, as prepared as everyone was, even still, what obstacles other than fighting time did you face during the filming of It's Me, Billy? Great question. I would say, you know what? I would say, Aaron, not much. And that's being truthful. I would say that it came down, there was a particular scene because of COVID and because the location where we were shooting is 4.5 hours away from Toronto. We couldn't get together with everybody throughout the summer, even not at the location, even if we got together at my place or at Bruce's place or at, one of the actors' places. If there was no COVID, we would have gotten, our rehearsals wouldn't have just been Zoom calls, right? They would have been actual in-person rehearsals, whether we're rehearsing in a park or at one of our houses or whatever, right? And we would have been able to work through the blocking that way. we were unable to work through blocking because of COVID. So a lot of the rehearsals we were doing on Zoom were great. Obviously, was just, talking about the lines and the character and character agency and nuance and things like that, but not necessarily the blocking. So there was a particular scene that we were shooting on day 2 where it took a little bit to get the blocking down. And I just simply mean by blocking, I mean where the actors stand, where they move to, their mark in relation to where the camera is, and all that kind of stuff, right? And it can be tricky when you have 4 people in a scene and you're trying to have them move around and get their marks and where the camera is, and it can be tricky. And we hadn't worked on that because of COVID, so it's our first time kind of doing that. So we were running through as Greg and the camera team, I should say, were setting up, and the crew was working the lights. We were rehearsing with the actors, and we were working through that blocking and that process. And that took a couple of takes. It took longer than we wanted it to. We did fall behind in the schedule that day. We finished maybe about an hour later than we wanted to with that scene, but we made it up. We took about half-hour lunches. The crew was okay with that. They were ready to go. Doing this, I find that, and again, it depends on the production, it depends on the size, right? But I found that having half-hour lunches and half-hour dinners actually worked better for us, because if you take too long, you lose momentum. And a lot of the crew, I mean, if they need, like, I think the last dinner we had, I think we gave them the full hour because we were ahead of schedule. It was the last night, and we thought, let's give them the full hour. And we all took it, and we all had a good time with it. But leading up to that point, we were taking half-hour breaks. Now, part of that was, because we wanted to make sure that we were getting everything in. The crew was okay with it, but the crew likes to work, and it wasn't like it was a very tough, demanding shoot in an environment. I mean, we're essentially in one location. We're in this gorgeous mansion. It's a very controlled environment. It's like being on a set, right? It's like being on a set. We can control the lighting however which we want. So in that sense, I think the crew appreciated the half-hour break. I'm good, have my lunch, a little bit of something to eat, a little bit of snack. I'm ready to go. So because of the half-hour breaks, we were able to make up that time, which was great. But I would say that was probably the most challenging, at least I think for me, was, that scene and a bit of the blocking. Beyond that, there were some logistical challenges in terms of camera movement. I can't say too much because it'd be a spoiler, but there were some logistical challenges, just getting things down, moving through the space, things like that, but that's standard stuff. That's standard filmmaking stuff. I mean, it was a pretty smooth shoot, and listen, I know not all sets that's the case. But I would say that was probably it. You know what I mean? I'd say so anyway. That's what I would say anyway. Let me see. Blue Raven Film says, hey, Dave, I just watched your short film, The Intruder. Oh, did you? And it got me more excited for It's Me, Billy. Was there a scene you weren't looking forward to film? The Intruder, that's a movie I shot almost 10 years ago now. That's not, I mean, that's a, little low budget home kind of film, but it actually, it holds up pretty well. It's not too bad. It's Me, Billy will look much more professional than that. But the Intruder, that was a fun short I did with Bruce 10 years ago, and that was based on the first 20 minutes of When a Stranger Calls. So I'm glad you found it. I'm glad you discovered it. You said, were there any scenes you weren't looking forward to filming? No, I think every scene I was really looking forward to filming. There were just certain scenes that were logistically more challenging. So it's not that I wasn't looking forward to it, but I knew that this could take a bit, that we could spend 2 or 3 hours just in this one shot, but it would be worth it if we get it. So it's that kind of thing, and Bruce and I discussed that a lot back and forth about that reality. But I wouldn't say there was anything I wasn't looking forward to. There were most scenes there were scenes I was looking forward to more than others, you know? Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I mean, anytime we shot outside, that becomes more difficult because you're outside. So you're at the mercy of the weather and the lighting and things like that. And of course you have supplemental lighting as well, which we had. You know, there were shots where the sun was beginning to move. So we had to supplement the light as sunlight. So it matched continuity wise, because there are certain scenes that are supposed to happen all within like a minute and a half of each other, you know, or this scene, excuse me, is all supposed to happen within like 90 seconds, but that could take 3 hours to shoot. Well, if you're taking 3 hours to shoot, the sun is moving across the sky. So if you don't supplement the lighting, and if you do, and this is where Greg and Nikita and the team come in that know what the fuck they're doing, and they can manipulate the light, the supplemental light that they have, to make it appear like the sun is still there, still in the same spot. So there are many scenes, like the scene outside that you saw with the car. I mean, that took about 4 hours to shoot. But on screen time, it's probably only going to be, I don't know, a couple of minutes maybe, right? So it's just amazing to watch that work, you know, to watch that environment and to look at the monitor and be like, wow, you know, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, there were 3 monitors. I was talking about that earlier, actually, when we were looking at that photo. There were 3 monitors. There's the onboard monitor. There's the monitor that Jacqueline has, because she's the focus puller. And then there's the main monitor for myself and Bruce to watch. So, yeah, it's just cool. Looking at the monitor, those images that I posted on my social media that look like screen captures, they were just images I took off the monitor, you know, and they look amazing. And that's stuff that hasn't even been treated. Like that stuff, that's in camera. That's what Greg and, you know, Nikita were capturing in camera. You know, so you can imagine what that's going to look like when, you know, when the movie's released. I was blown away. I'm sitting there, I'm like, Jesus, this looks great. And I was constantly saying, guys, you're doing such a great job. Like, this is what I imagine, you know. And capturing the visual aesthetic of Black Christmas was also important. It's important to note, you know, I mean, that we want to capture that, you know, we're paying homage. So, but we're making it our own as well, right? You know, we want to put our own stamp on it, our own creative style. You know, it's a mixture of myself and Bruce. So we want to have our own stamp, but we're paying homage to Black Christmas. So it was very important that the lighting and everything, you know, it gave you that vibe. You know what I mean? And I think they did a great job. And the monitor shot, like I said, they're just monitor shots. Those shots that I posted, you know, I think the last day I said, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? It's Me, Billy ends, and it's the shot of the 3 girls with the phone. That's just from the monitor. That's not, I mean, that's not a screen grab. That's just from the monitor. And it's wild. It's wild how that looks. I'm like, holy shit. You know, I can't wait to get this thing out. So just so cool. I was just giddy, you know, being able to work with this level of equipment and these people. It's giddy, you know, it makes you so excited, you know, because you have a team that, it's just relieving a lot of the pressure that when you're shooting your own movies, like on your DSLR or you're doing so much, you know, and to have a team that specializes in certain areas, it relieves that pressure. So Bruce and I can focus on directing, and that's all we have to focus on. I mean, not all we have to focus on, but I'm just saying we can focus on that. We can work with the actors. We can run rehearsals, right? So it just was cool. It was very cool to have a team that, you know, was very good at their job. Let me see what's going on. Super chat comes in from Chris Snyder. Chris, my man. Chris says, without spoilers, how far into the post-production process is the film currently? And what's the feeling seeing everything come together? Well, the film's not too far along at the moment because we're in the process of constructing our assembly edit. So the assembly edit is just, I mean, that's what you assemble first, right? And then the assembly edit, and then you tweak that, of course. But that's where we are. We're in the process. Bruce was over last night. We were going through the footage and we're picking the best takes, the takes that we want to use. So then we mark those, and then we use those takes to put into the timeline for the assembly edit. And so that's where we are in the process. So the movie's not even close to being done. But it started. It started. The micro teaser trailer is locked. It's just with our DP right now to get because obviously it's his work and he wants to have a look at the color grading and to sort of sign off on that. And the teaser trailer, the actual teaser that'll be released on December 24th, it's locked. And it just needs to also go through a color grade process, which shouldn't take too long. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. And I would say the first scene, like, the first day that we shot, the car scene, we're in the process of kind of assembling that together. So, I mean, the sound's not done yet and all that kind of stuff. And myself and Bruce are editing the film, and I'm doing all the sound design on it. So, and I'm excited. It's a lot of hard work, but I love it. I mean, it's what I do, and I love seeing it come together through that process. So, it's definitely in post-production, but it's just started. Gary Boyce says, about how long will It's Me, Billy be? I don't know, Gary. I think it's still too early to tell. Even an assembly edit. I mean, even if the assembly edit is 30 minutes long, that might not be where it ends up. It may end up being only 25 minutes long because we might want to cut that down or shave that off. It's a 23.5 page script. If you go by the rule of thumb in screenplays, which is essentially a minute a page. Now that's a generalization because it all depends on how much dialogue is on a page, how much action is on a page, the nuances from the performances and things like that. So it's a ballpark, right? Generally speaking, a 90-minute movie is a 90-minute script, right? Generally. So if you go by that, It's Me, Billy will be probably, 23, 25 minutes long. I have always estimated that this will probably be a 25 to 30 minute film, is my estimation on that. But it's still too early to tell exactly. Yeah, let me see here. Let me see here. Con Camera Film says to make a Strangers fan film would be cool. Strangers. Oh, the Strangers. Yeah, that'd be all right. Chicken Sandwich says, do you use Foley room when sound designing, or do you have a library of samples already? I have, because it's what I do for a living in terms of voiceover and sound design, all that kind of stuff. I have a library of about 25,000 sound effects, everything from, everything you can imagine I have. However, when we're on set, our sound recordist and boom operator, Adrian, he did record some Foley that was there. Sometimes we didn't need it because I know I have the sounds to complement it. But he did anyway, like certain sounds, to get certain creaks or, things like that. That I have. And so I have it. And if I use it, great. If I don't, well, that's okay too. But yes, generally speaking, I have a long Rolodex of sounds that I can pull from. Like the Indiegogo teaser for It's Me, Billy. I did all the sound for that, all the, the mixing and, the mastering and everything. So it's something it's a role I'm comfortable in. It's a role I've been doing for 15 years now, close to 20 years actually. So it's I feel good about it. I feel good about handling the process. Gary Rangel says, Dave, my man, congrats on It's Me, Billy, 12/24/20. That's right, Gary. Teaser trailer drops December 24th. But like I said, in case you're just joining me, there is a micro teaser that will also be dropping. Hopefully this week, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Nike says, Friday fan films with Mrs. Voorhees back again. Yeah, that's true. There's a few of them out there that have Mrs. Voorhees back, which is very, very cool. Darren says, will you use a Wilhelm sound effect? I love it. For those of you that don't know what Darren's talking about, he's talking about the Wilhelm scream, which you hear in pretty much every Star Wars movie and pretty much every Indiana Jones movie, and it dates back decades. It's that scream you'll hear, like if somebody goes over, a cliff or something, you'll hear like, ah! You hear it a lot in especially in the Indiana Jones movies and stuff. Anyway, and older films too. The Wilhelm scream. Yeah, I How funny that would be. No is the answer, Darren. No, definitely not going to be using the Wilhelm scream, but that's funny. That's really funny. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Billy will, maybe we'll try, we'll get it in there somehow. We'll get it in there somehow. Who knows? I have no idea, but that's so funny. Let me see. Let's see. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed any super chats. Let me see. Gary Rango, Chris Snyder, Oliver Mercer sends in a super chat. Thank you, Oliver. Sends in a £5 super chat and says, "Hey, Dave, will we see any close-ups or interesting shots regarding the actor who plays Billy?" Well, I can't tell you that. If I told you that, I'd be spoiled. I can't say yes. I can't say no. If I say yes, then that sets expectations. If I say no, that sets a different set of expectations. I can't say anything, Oliver. And look at you, Oliver, trying to get as much out of me as you possibly can. Let me see. Gary Boy says the Wilhelm was in Commando. Was it? Was the Wilhelm scream in Commando? That is... That's funny. The Wilhelm scream was in Commando. It'd be great to have the Wilhelm scream right next to Arnold. That'd be funny. That'd be funny. I love it. Amstel54 says, does Billy kill Agnes to start the film? No, Billy does not kill Agnes to start the film. Jason Knight says, I got one short film under my belt now. Good job, Jason. Good job. Rocking it. Destiny Falconer. It's Falconer, right? I think that's how you say your last name. Is in the chat room. Destiny is here, part of the Stream Demons. Destiny is extremely talented in her horror makeup. Never ceases to amaze me, Destiny. You are very good at what you do with that. You may have a career in special effects makeup. I don't know if that's what you're thinking, but I mean, you're pretty good at it. If I do say so myself, I should say. Con Camera Film says, did you want it to be longer? Oh, you mean the movie? It's Me, Billy. No, because if I wanted it to be longer, I would have written a longer film. Myself and Bruce, when we were writing the thing that I think it's important for people to understand is we could have made it longer, but then we would have had to have written a longer script, which means we would have had to have asked for more money. Because anytime you extend anything, you extend shooting days, it costs more money. And, it's something that especially when you're shooting at this caliber. So, if we wanted to take 2 weeks to shoot, well, that's an extra 2 weeks of catering. That's an extra 2 weeks of equipment rentals. That's an extra 2 weeks of insurance. That's an extra 2 weeks of location rentals, because it's not like we're shooting for free at the location, right? It's an extra 2 weeks of everything. Every cost, you add an extra 2 weeks or an extra week or, whatever the case is. So, the budget goes up. So what's a $60,000 picture becomes a $100,000 picture, whatever the case is. So, those are factors that you have to keep in mind as well. It's amazing. And again, I'm pretty well versed on how the film industry works. But even I learned a lot through this process about all the things that even I didn't think of that cost money, and that when you're like, oh, wow, oh yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, that's right. There's that, like little kind of things that you don't necessarily think of because you think of the bigger things. Oh, location, production, insurance, rent. But then there's all all these other little things that you got to think about as well, which adds up, and so it was a great experience, a great learning experience for myself. And I can't wait to do it again. I really, really can't. It's just, it feels right. You feel that's where you belong and that's what you want to do, It feels good. It feels good. Tom Ungurian says, Dave, who's editing? It's me, Billy. Me, you're looking at him. Me and Bruce and I. We are editing Billy. What I'm doing, because I'm editing it here because I have the studio and the capabilities of doing it. What I do is Bruce will come over, we'll go through the shots. We'll pick the ones we want. I start assembling things together and tweaking and things like that. And then we make a date for him to come over and to look at it and go through it. And then we discuss what we both like, what we don't like, and all that kind of stuff. And then I take notes, and we edit while he's here. And then when he leaves, I take the notes that, he's given me, and we mold and shape, and it's that kind of thing. And then he comes over again and we go. So we are editing it together. I'm just doing most of the groundwork because it has to be done here. But we're editing it together. Just like we did the Indiegogo teaser. I physically did the editing, but the ideas and everything there, of course, are myself and Bruce and all that kind of stuff. So, it's being edited here. Tabitha Short, it's great to see Tabitha here. How did you guys know you needed 6 days for filming with the budget you were needing? Well, because of how prepared we were, and what you do is you create what's known as a production schedule. So that tells you what you are planning on shooting on each day. So you have a production schedule, and we lay out what we're going to be shooting each day, the time that we feel we need to shoot each scene based on the logistics involved in shooting those scenes. So some scenes we need 5 hours to shoot. Some scenes we allot 5 hours to shoot. Now, maybe we don't end up using that full 5 hours. We always did. But maybe you don't, right? There's a variety of reasons which may put you ahead of schedule. There's a variety of reasons that may put you behind schedule. But that's how you do it, right? It's based on the logistics and the technical logistics of each scene and what's involved. Setup time, for example, because the crew might need 2 hours to set up, because it's technologically challenging in terms of lighting, right? So gaffer, Nikita, our gaffer, Naz, our key grip, and crew may, they may come to us and say, okay, we're going to need 2 hours to set this up, so when we're making the production schedule, we factor that in. Okay, well, the guys are going to have to start setting up at 2. Call time's going to be 4. Maybe we can start rolling at 5. That's what you do. I mean, you're managing, you're being a production manager essentially and a line producer all at the same time, handling the budget and all that as well. So it's a finessing, it's a balance of trying to figure it all out, but nothing was arbitrarily done. We didn't get to, we handled this as a professional production because we had a professional crew, we had professional equipment, we were spending thousands of dollars. So we needed to handle this legit, because if we didn't, we were going to run into trouble. My hat just hit the mic. We were going to run into trouble. So we had a production schedule. Nothing was arbitrarily, we didn't get to set going, so what do you want to shoot tomorrow? I don't know. Let's shoot that. No. We couldn't do that. It's a $60,000 picture. We can't do that. We need to know exactly what we're shooting the next day, how much time there is allotted for it, when breakfast is, when breaks are, how much setup time is needed. I don't have it or maybe I do have it with me. Actually, I might. Just 1 second. I do. I have it right here. This is the It's Me Billy shooting schedule. That's it right there. So this is the schedule. So that's the arrival day. That's day 1. Oh, you can't really see it there. That's day 1, right? That's day 2. There's day 3. There's day 4. Oh, sorry, day 5. Day 4. Day 4 of shooting, right? Yeah, day 4 of shooting. Day 5 of shooting, and no, that was day 5 of shooting, and then day 6 of shooting as well. And everything is there, you know what I mean? And we have, for example, on our day 6, on our 6th day of shooting, I don't want to give spoilers away here, but it's from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. because it's overnight shoots, right? Setup and prep. 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. We have scene 26, scene 39, and 40. 11 p.m. to 12 p.m., but we only took half hours. It was lunch. 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. Scene 41, scene 42, scene 43. Exterior, interior, exterior. It's all designed that way. Every single day down to the smallest detail. is designed that way. And then of course we have over here, we have pages of the script, characters in the actual scenes, the number of shots. We have a shot list as well. This is the production schedule, the shooting schedule, I should say. We have a shot list. A shot list breaks down every single scene into shots. How many shots are in this scene? Okay, there's 4 shots in this scene. There's 7 shots in this scene. There's 9 shots in this scene. There's 18 shots in this scene. And we broke it down. And that's what you do. I mean, when you're shooting a professional film, that's what you do. You have a shooting schedule, you have a shot list, and a shot list is for the director and the DP and the gaffer, essentially. So they know sort of what's going on, especially the director and the DP. And that's what we did. We broke it down into shots as well, not just what we're shooting on what day. This is just the shooting schedule. We had a shot list, and the shot list was like a 11 by 7 paper or whatever. And we were like flipping it over and looking at all the shots. And sometimes we could consolidate shots. Sometimes we were like, you know what? We have like 6 shots here. We might be able to get this scene in 4 shots if we combine these 2 shots into 1 shot. And sometimes that happens as well. Oh yeah, like full on, Tabitha. It was full on, right down to the finest detail. And I think that's why it went so smoothly, because we were that prepared, you know. And because we wanted it to be as professional as possible. It was our first time. I mean, we know how movies are made. It's not our first time in the world, but it was our first time stepping into the directing and producing role, doing a movie like this. And we wanted to be as prepared as possible. And so we were. And that wasn't a guarantee that things were going to go smoothly, but it gives us the best probability of that success. And that's why. So yeah, no, nothing was arbitrarily done. It was down to the shooting schedule and even the shot list. Like, we knew how many shots we were getting in one scene, and it helps things go smoother that way. Jason Nike says, congratulations on the shoot, Dave, and thank you. You're very welcome, Jason. Thank you for sending in a $2 super chat. I really, really, really appreciate that. Matthew Mills says, who took care of your cat? My girlfriend took care of my cat. Yeah, she was here taking care of Veda for the week. And Veda, when I came home, Veda was, oh my God, she hadn't seen me for a week. She was, the cuddles she needed and the attention and everything. It was amazing. It was amazing. Veda, it was like she hadn't seen me in 10 years. Veda missed me big time, big time, big time. Warren Armour says, will It's Me, Billy premiere on YouTube? Yes, more than likely. We are exploring the festival circuit at the moment, but yes, it definitely will be on YouTube. But if you chose there was a certain package on the Indiegogo campaign, to see it early. So there will be a Zoom premiere as well. And you'll be able to watch it with myself and Bruce and the cast as well. That obviously won't happen till well into next year, obviously, and the Blu-rays and things like that. Obviously, that will be some of the last perks that we ship out because we can't have a Blu-ray without a movie. So, but yeah, that'll happen probably next spring, summer. I don't know, somewhere around there. Who knows? Awesome50 says, so excited to see this, Dave. The screenshots you shared looked so moody. Yeah, pretty cool, eh? Any ideas roughly how soon the Blu-ray? Oh, I was just saying that might come once It's Me, Billy has been released on streaming. I don't know. You know, it depends, right? Because the movie can be released online once the movie's ready to go. When it comes to the Blu-ray, there's special features, there's behind the scenes, there's the which we're going to start putting together simultaneously. I mean, we're going to start doing that, but there's the creation of the artwork and the cover and the back cover and the menus and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, my goal is to start shipping those next year, because we're going to simultaneously be working on all this as we move along. But yeah, I don't really know. I don't have an exact date yet, but just know that is our goal. And but the movie will probably be online first. Do you know what I mean? Because that's something you can do as soon as the movie's done. The Blu-ray is a bit different because you have other things that go on the Blu-ray as well. It's not just the movie. It's all the bells and whistles. So, yeah, but we're working hard, man. We're going to be working hard. We're going to be working hard. Let me see. Tabitha follows up with, did you guys have any extras in the film other than the regular cast? No, we didn't. No, it wasn't that kind of a movie. We, in a very early draft of the script, we did. in a very early draft of the script, we did. There was a very early draft. There were a couple of scenes in an early draft of the script that we had to cut for various reasons, and that would have required some extras, but not in the film that we took to camera. Not in the film that we took to camera. Let me see. Evil Alex. Great to see Evil Alex here. Says, congrats, Dave. Your parents would be proud of you. Thank you for saying that, Evil. What were your favorite and funny things that happened on set? Well, I mentioned this on Facebook Live the other day. I did a Facebook Live show. Not a show, just a quick stream, I guess, 3 or 4 days ago, which I never do. For whatever reason, I just felt like doing it. And I think I touched on this then. It was funny. So we're shooting in a mansion, right, that was built in 1870. There's 10 fireplaces in this thing. Now, there's certain parts of the house we are unable to use or shoot because they are the private quarters of the owners that live there. Now, the owners were not there for the week. They took off. But in terms of their private quarters, their bedrooms and things like that, obviously that was locked off, and we wanted it that way. We told them to do that. But anyway, so in a lot of the bedrooms, they have this little buzzer on the wall that you press. This is the kind of thing you had to be there. It's probably not going to be as funny to you guys, but it was really funny to me and to Greg, our DP. So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, our first night there, right? We haven't shot anything yet. The girls had gone to bed. Bruce had gone to bed. I was on the verge of going to bed, and Greg was on the verge of going to bed. So I thought. So anyway, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. You're in this gigantic mansion built in 1870. And I'm in my bedroom, and there's this little light on the wall, this little buzzer on the wall, which is in every bedroom and in a lot of the rooms. And they're old, but it's for back in the day when you needed to be served. So if you were in your bedroom, you would press that button and it goes bzzz, and it buzzes downstairs to the kitchen, and the kitchen staff sees what room, what bedroom, buzzed, and they go to serve you to find out what the fuck you want, right? Anyway, I hit that thinking it was the light switch. So I hit it and went bzzz. I'm like, what? So I hit it again going bzzz. Well, Greg was already downstairs. This is like the lights are off and everything, right? Greg's already downstairs. I don't know he's down there. He's like, what the fuck was that? He had to put on his jacket to go and get something out from the car or the truck. We had a couple of trucks, obviously. And I'm like, what the? And I forget what I was doing. I left my bedroom to go and get something as well that I left downstairs, maybe my phone charger or something. I forget what it was. So, 1:30 in the morning, right? All the lights are off, big bay window with this light, bellowing into this you've seen the staircase. I'm walking down the stairs. It's 1:30 in the morning, and I turn the corner, and Greg is standing at the bottom of the stairs, and he's just standing there putting on it, like his jacket is just done up, and he's standing there and he's looking at, scared the fucking hell out of me. Now, we had a good laugh about it. It's the kind of thing where you had to be there, but I was like, Jesus Christ, Greg. He's just standing there. I thought everybody had gone to bed, and he's just standing there like Michael Myers at the bottom of the steps looking up, and I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, Jesus, you know what I mean? And everything's dark, and you can kind of see his shadow, and we're having a good laugh about it, and I'm in I think I was in my boxers or something too, because I thought everybody had gone to bed. So I thought, well, I could just, quickly race downstairs and get my phone charger. Not a big deal, right? It was just funny as hell. Had to be there, but it was just funny. It was like, holy shit, like, Greg, what are you doing? And then I'm like, why are you down here? Are you just standing there on the off chance that somebody comes around the corner or whatever? Anyway, we had a good laugh about it. But Shelby scared me as well. Unintentionally, of course. She was there's the big grand staircase that you've seen in some of the photos. And then there's a side staircase as well that leads to the kitchen, sort of a smaller, regular looking, kind of small kind of thing. And Shelby was sitting on the staircase on her phone or whatever. And it was between takes. I don't even think she was in the scene. I think, anyway, I had come around the stairs and she scared me. Just her being there. I was like, holy shit, Shelby, you scared me. I think it's just you're in that environment. So turning corners and, like, if this was in my place or, some place that isn't a, 10 bedroom, 10 fireplace mansion, she probably wouldn't have scared me. right? But just being in that environment, you subconsciously, you're already kind of like, oh, like, you know, every corner, you know, things like that. So, you know, you come around the corner and you see somebody you're not expecting. It's like, holy shit, you scared me. You know what I mean? Even though she's just there on her phone, you know? So little funny things like that. And then of course there were some inside jokes and funny things that happened. I discovered that Victoria can do the moonwalk. I didn't know that she could do the moonwalk. It was between takes and she was doing a little dance and I started filming it because I thought it was funny because, you know, the girls were doing kind of a funny little dance and I thought that was fun for, you know, behind the scenes stuff. And so I started just shooting that on my phone and then she just busted out the moonwalk and I'm like, whoa, because I can do the moonwalk. I don't know if you guys know that, but I actually can do the moonwalk. Bruce can do the moonwalk as well. He was the one that taught me how to do the moonwalk and like legit do them. I can legit do the moonwalk. I'll have to do a video showing you. But anyway, so Victoria busts out the moonwalk and I'm like, wow, I'm like, hang on a second here. You can do the moonwalk. I can do the moonwalk. We should have had a moonwalking competition, but we didn't because we just didn't have the time. But anyway, so that was kind of fun. You know, it was a discovery that I thought was kind of funky. Just little things like that, you know, just good times, you know, good times, good laughs. You know, it was just an all around good time. You know, there wasn't anything crazy that happened or like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Nothing like that. I mean, it was a pretty low key set, but just kind of a normal, kind of just fun time. You know what I mean? Yeah, there wasn't anything crazy that happened though. Not that I remember. I mean, I don't know, unless one of the crew is watching unless something happened that was crazy that I don't know about. I don't recall. All right, we'll go for another 5 minutes. We'll go another 5 minutes and then we'll call it a day on this day back. And I think this is a good show to get my feet back into the swing of things. Let me see here. Dude says scares the DP who in turn drops the camera smashing into bits. Oh my God, can you imagine? That wouldn't be good. Let's just put it this way. Some of the lenses we were using, the lenses alone are worth like $100,000. You know, the replacement, I mean, we didn't spend that much. We're talking about the replacement value, right? I think the Airy Mini, the body alone, if I'm not mistaken, is worth like $500,000 or something ridiculous like that. 300,000, 500,000, something ridiculous like that, you know, the replacement value. And then, like I said, the lenses alone, you know, some of the lenses are like 60 grand to replace. So, yeah, no, that's definitely, we definitely did not want to scare Greg when he was working the camera. That's definitely something we did not want to do. Not want to do at all. Robert Thitoff, Robert, my man, says, Dave, during production, were you worried someone may just get a common cold, but then have to take COVID precautions to be safe? It's always a worry. You know, it's always in the back of your mind. We were more concerned about that, funny enough, leading up to production. Once everybody was there and everybody met at the rendezvous point, because we all met at a certain location in Toronto at 7:00 in the morning on that Sunday. And then we all drove up together. Now we weren't in like a convoy or whatever. I mean, people could go at their own pace and their own speed as long as they made it to the house by a certain time. But I was more worried about like a day or two before going to camera, somebody was going to say, I have a cold, you know, and it's not COVID, but I have this awful cold. Oh my God. While we were there on set, everybody was really chill. We wore our masks. You know, we developed a comfort level. You know, everybody checked out okay. Nobody had it. You know, it was okay. While we were there, we found a groove. You know, and everybody was okay. And I guess we were working so hard and we were so locked in that I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of somebody getting a cold while on set. I mean, obviously it's a reality that may have happened and we would have had to cross that bridge when it came. But certainly there was, you know, a hospital nearby as well where somebody, you know, could have gotten tested and things like that. We cleaned and sanitized as we went. I mean, we did what we could do. We did what we could do on an indie shoot. I mean, we didn't have the budget to have the entire crew tested. They could test themselves on their own, of course. But if you're working on a Hollywood film that has like a $10 million budget, the studio will pay to test everybody. So we couldn't do that because we didn't have the budget. It was going to cost thousands of dollars to do that. So we followed the next best thing, which was the precautions and the procedures that were laid out by the Ministry of Ontario as it relates to the film and television industry. So this is what we need you to do. And that's what we followed. And we followed that to a T. And everybody was safe and everybody had a good time. So we were happy. We were happy. Frank Riker says, they cut my scene, but I did it anyway for free. That's right, Frank. That's right. Yeah, we had to cut your scene, Frank. It was, a little crazy, but we had to cut it, Frank. I'm sorry about that, but it happens. It happens. Chicken sandwich. I love it. Will there be original music for the film, or is that coming from elsewhere? There will not be a soundtrack for the movie or anything like that. There will be a score, obviously, but the score is very reminiscent. Of the original Black Christmas. And the original Black Christmas was more soundscape, moody, piano strings, things like that. There isn't really a score per se or a soundtrack. We want to emulate the same kind of thing to a degree. Is what we want to do. So the ballpark of what you would consider the score will be very reminiscent of the original Black Christmas. Frank's upset. I'm sorry, Frank. I'm sorry. I had to. I apologize, but it's what it's all I could do, Frank. I'm sorry about that. Julian Turner says, hey, Dave, did you have a favorite scene when writing the script? If so, did you feel more nervous when it came to shooting that particular scene compared to others? Great question. No, I didn't have any. And again, it's important to note that I wrote it with Bruce. I did the physical typing, but Bruce's, fingerprints are all over the script as well. It's a joint collaboration. You'll probably see things in the movie where you're like, oh, that's totally Dave. You know what I mean? And then once you get to know Bruce a bit better, you'll see things like, oh, that's totally Bruce, and then of course you'll see things that are like, oh, that's totally Bruce and Dave, and then that's good. And that's what we want, right? Cause it's a joint effort, but were there anything that we were writing that we felt nervous about? I think it's just, I think there always is, like, how are we going to shoot this? Or, yes, there is something that we wrote that we were concerned with technologically, how we were going to achieve this. It was a technological, it's going to take a bit of planning, and it tested our crew. It tested our crew in terms of our gaffer, our key grip, our grips, our electrics. It tested them for setup, and things like that. So yes, I can't tell you what that is because I want you to see it for yourself. But yes, there definitely was something that was like, oh, this could take 4 hours to shoot this one thing. It didn't take 4 hours to shoot the one thing. I think it only took, it might have taken 2.5 or 3. It might have taken almost 4 hours. But it was worth it. It was worth it for sure. Oh, I missed a super chat, Frank. Did I miss a super chat? Let me go back here. Frank the Tank coming to my rescue. Oh yes, Frank! Frank Riker says, Dave just got done baking brownies with Blum and told me to tell you that you're welcome for making it snow for your cute film, and heaven help you, it becomes a full-length. Yes, yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, definitely it's something that, it's not a full-length feature film. Jason Blum, if you're watching, it's an homage, it's a tribute, it's all in good fun, good taste. We are paying homage. There is no long-term profit that can be made from this movie, obviously. But hopefully we'll not only do Black Christmas fans proud, but we'll do anybody who from Blumhouse that watch it. Hopefully they'll we'll do them proud, and maybe they'll go, maybe that's what we should have done. Maybe they'll do that. And then maybe they'll be like, maybe we should get these guys to do this. Just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, thank you, Frank, for reminding me about that. And then Filthy Dan's Film Discussion sends in a $5 super chat and says, just a gratitude drop. Thanks, Dave. You rock, man. Well, thank you so much, Filthy Dan. I really appreciate that very much. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me for episode 125 of MCRAE Live. I wanted to bring people up to speed. Thank you for joining me today on this episode. And don't forget that the It's Me, Billy official teaser drops Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2020. And we have a little micro teaser that's coming very soon, hopefully this week. Maybe today. Did I just say that? No, it won't be today. But hopefully in the next couple of days or so, that will get you guys very excited as well. I appreciate, thank you to my moderators, of course, Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, and Darren Sands for doing what you guys do. Thank you for the super chats that came in. Thank you for the non-super chat questions that came in as I juggle the schedule here to try and get the channel schedule back on track. I think this was a successful show. I think first show back after 2 weeks, I think it ran pretty smoothly. There were no hiccups that I know of. And I think it was a pretty good show back. I will be back Thursday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time for episode 126 of MCRAE Live. What will I be talking about on that day? I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. You guys are amazing. Sincerely, thank you for your support. Thank you for helping to make this film a reality. We're doing you guys proud. We're doing the best we can to do you guys proud. And I think you're in for a real treat. I really do. I think Black Christmas fans will be very pleased. Original Black Christmas fans. Lee McCoy, if you're out there somewhere, get ready. Get ready. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you guys soon. Cheers.